people were upset about was what you said, and everything that you said could absolutely positively be true. People were upset that they felt like that you were putting down the average person, quote unquote, average job, and the person that was working the average job, that their what they do is not as good as what you do.
That's a projection, Envy. Envy, that's a projection. Because
I'll let you speak. Let me talk, please.
Envy. Yeah.
So when you start talking about all this, and I read the comments just like you did, because I wanted to prepare myself when you came up here to understand what people were mad about, and understand what people were upset about. So when you're talking about all this brother this, and the black man this, and the white supremacy this, and this, that, and the other, that's all to the side of how you felt about that quote unquote average job, right? And I'll be honest with you, right? And one of the comments that I said, and maybe I'm not sure, right? The guy was like, you talk about all this about lifting a brother up and lifting this up and white supremacy and what you do for our people. And then the first thing the brother said was, but your fiance was white. And I'm sitting there like, how do you talk about how much you're uplifting and how much you're going for black people, but that's not necessarily what you're even looking for?
You know what? This quarantine, I think, like a lot of couples, Wendy, it made us tell the truth about our relationship.
How long were you with him before quarantine?
Almost 4 years.
Did you live with him at the time of quarantine?
I'll tell you what happened. He actually did not quarantine with me. He has 3 children, 2 of which are young adults, and he chose to quarantine in New Jersey with his semi-adult children. And for me, listen, I'm not a parent yet, so I get that they're number one.
Right.
But I need to be number one, Wendy.
I don't mean to hurt somebody. Just because you didn't mean to affect somebody doesn't mean you didn't hurt a community.
I
could say anything about somebody and be like, I didn't mean to hurt you. But if you hurt people, you hurt people. If people feel a way about you, they feel a way about you, because those people that you talked about are the people that buy your books, that listen to this show, and they're hurt.
Ebony, what about words like average, mediocrity, typical, and the bigotry or low expectations? I think those are the words that hurt the working class.
You can sit here and say, no, I didn't hurt nobody. You hurt people out there.
Want to give a big shout out to Mr. Let Go for the footage. I'm too lazy to look for it. But you see what I'm saying? See? She was in a relationship, because an engagement really don't really mean nothing unless you get married. They don't mean nothing unless you really get married. He didn't marry you. He didn't get you pregnant. And he did that shit intentionally. I'm almost positive that white guy made sure he knew you was there for money. He knew it. He knew it. And that's why he didn't marry you. He didn't even quarantine with you. She talking about his kids are semi-grown. Why would he quarantine with some crazy lunatic chick like you? Because that shit was all about money. She was hoping, whoever that white dude is, she was hoping that nigga married her, bro. She would have got pregnant, had that baby would have hit a certain age, she would have divorced that motherfucker. And the white guy was nice enough to give you a ring. Had you dated one of these blacks, you wouldn't even have got a fucking ring. He was nice enough to give you a ring. I doubt it if he even asked for it back. Because if one of the blacks would have gave you a ring, they would have got it back from you. But then you wait 6 months after the quarantine. That shit took for a minute. You still waiting for him? He ain't never come back. And now you get on fucking television or on the internet and you talk about black guys. What the fuck we got to do with your fucking choices on the men that you pick? Tell me, like, what do we have to do with the men that you pick? You pick your own men. Your dad didn't arrange a marriage for you. You pick the guys that you want. You're horrible at it. You might be good at reading a book and remembering what's in the book, but everything else, you're no good, man. You no good, man. Like you bugged out of your mind. Like you bugged out. The essential workers get the utmost respect from me. Maybe not from people like her, the lawyers and those people. Of course, they feel like they're higher up, but you can't do nothing without the essential workers. You can't make no moves. You can't even have a clean building. You won't even have a building without them. They in the building first, and then your punk ass gets to come in the building afterwards. Nice and clean and all that, after they done went through all the rubble and put it together for you. The thing about it is, a lot of people who are on celebrity status, their fathers were blue collar workers. So they're not going to be so kind on you. Their dads were blue collar workers. Their dads were bus drivers, train conductors, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, welders, auto mechanics. They're not going to take so kindly to you looking down on the person that worked every day to make sure that they had things that they want. They won't take kindly to that. Gotta be careful about talking about them blue collar workers, those essential workers. Those guys took care of children, and those children are grown now. And they ain't gonna be so kind about you talking greasy about those people. Those people gave them Christmas gifts that they wanted, and took them on trips, and gave them love, and bought them birthday cakes, and fed them. They ain't gonna take so kindly to that. So be careful.